Would you ever, when you were doing this, did you ever speak to these people when you were injecting them?
No.
Would you ever say anything to them?
Not unless they asked me what I was doing, then I just say it was a vitamin injection.
But having that, and I know it's documented in here a few times, having that feeling of anger and frustration, would you ever...
No.
You would never state anything to vocalize your anger towards that person as you were injecting them?
No, never.
And where did you inject him?
His arm and his thigh.
Okay. And what were you telling him at that point that you were giving him? Did he ask?
It's just, come on up, settle down, you need to have your medicine. And eventually I put it in there.
And was there an immediate reaction to him at all? Did he stroke right away?
No, he didn't stroke till I left.
Okay. And then that's when you came in the next day and had the conversation with that short Filipino nurse?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I don't remember her name.
It's okay. The 4 or 5 days later when he passed away, do you remember if that was back at Meadow Park or was it in the hospital?
It was in the hospital.
So he never came back?
It may have just been 2 or 3 days. It seemed like it was 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
And his family was devastated. Absolutely devastated.
What was his health like at that point? Prior to
other
injecting him?
Other than dementia, he was fairly strong. He was in a wheelchair, but he was a good eater and he was strong. And
how old was he?
I'm going to say maybe 78.
Okay. And who was his family members?
He had a son named Art, who did stand-up comedy.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah, like, I think it was just like open mic night.
Right.
And then his wife.
Okay. That's it?
That's all I remember. I know he had other, but that's the only ones I remember.
Do you remember if there were other son or daughters or just other family members that you could recall?
There were other family members involved, but I don't recall.
Okay. Did you ever have any interaction with his family? I mean, you said they were devastated. When did you learn of that? How did you know about that?
They came in to take stuff out of his room.
Following his death?
Well, he was still in the hospital. They came in to take some stuff, and then when he was gone, they came in to take the rest.
Okay. How did you feel having a conversation with him?
Awful. Again, like I betrayed them.
Mm-hmm. How are you feeling right now?
Can I go to the bathroom again?
Yeah.
I know we're almost done.
We are. I got 7:10.
Okay.
We're getting there. I have 7:14.
Okay.
To resume. So we left off with Art, Mr. Horvath, at Meadow Park Nursing Home. And I don't think we ever covered this off. Meadow Park is in London, right?
Yes,
we're talking about commuting, right? Okay. All right. Is there anything else you remember about Art at all?
Not really. Well, he was a big game hunter.
Was he?
Yeah. And he had pictures of it all over the walls in his room.
Yeah. Did you ever converse with these people, like what they did for work and that type of thing? Like, would you remember details like that? Like Art, for instance.
Art was a big game hunter. Maurice, I don't know. James, I don't know. No, I guess I never really did.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And at Meadow Park, where would you get the insulin there?
Again, from the medication fridge. Okay. And using a spare insulin and needle.
And again, it wasn't tracked?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why is that?
I don't know. Insulin's not something that's usually tracked.
Right. And just because it's not a concern to the home?
Yeah. I mean, I think it is now. I know some homes track it now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just a question out of curiosity. Just my, lack of knowledge of it, that's all.
Yeah.
Now you have a portion of your, on the fourth page of this document that you wrote out, and before you, when did you write this out? I know it's dated the 24th of September.
Yes, that's when I wrote it out.
You wrote this full document at that point?
24th and 25th.
Where were you at that point?
I was at the CAMH.
And what made you prepare this document?
The doctor suggested to me that I should.
Okay.
Not to give to the police, but he said that if I wrote it out, it would be a good part of my therapy.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
And did take a large amount of pressure off me, and helped me to really clarify the fact that no, it wasn't God, it was something wrong with me psychologically that was making me believe that it was God.
Mm-hmm.
It really helped me to clarify that.
And the original of this document?
Is in my knapsack in the back of your car.
And we'll get down the road at that point, but is providing us with the original document something you'd be willing to do?
Yes.
And we'll get to that.
Do you have a stamp that you can stamp it as the original?
I don't even think we'll need to do that. We'll have you sign a consent form, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Only if you're willing, of course. You have a portion on the fourth page here, and it's titled "People Who Didn't Die."
Mhm.
What can you tell me about?
Okay, Clotilde Adriano.
Okay.
She was the first person I ever gave extra insulin to.
Okay.
I think I gave her 40, and again, there was that surging, but it wasn't so much that I wanted her to die, it was more let's see what happens. And I did that to her on more than one occasion.
Okay.
Albino was...
Sorry, she was prior to Mr. Silcox, right?
Yes.
So this was the very first person that you injected with insulin?
Yes.
Okay, and we're at Crescent Care?
At Crescent Care.
And her room was where?
Her room was in the east wing, second door on the left.
Okay.
And then east wing, first door on the left was her sister Albina. She was diabetic.
Okay.
She was October 2007.
Sorry, that was her sister?
Matilda and Albina were sisters, yes.
Oh, okay.
Then there was Wayne. He was on the north wing. He had dementia. He was diabetic. He could be uncooperative. And I gave him a large overdose because I thought it was his turn to go.
That was Wayne?
That was Wayne.
And sorry, how old was... Sorry, and I hate to go back. I just have a few more questions. How old was Clotilde?
Clotilde was 90 or so.
Okay, and her sister?
Albina was probably 82.
And did they have family that would come and visit?
Yes, yes.
All right.
Very much so.
Who would that be that would come to visit?
Clotilde, I think it was her daughters, and Albina was her husband.
Okay. And long-acting, short-acting?
Short-acting at that point.
You know, so that means we're still doing the short-acting. Okay, and do you remember the doses that
Oh,
they would have given?
wait a second. What would they get at night? It was long-acting, because it was what they got at night. With those two, it was their own insulin, just extra dose. So,
Okay.
probably 30 to 40
Right.
extra.
Okay. And then Wayne, how old was Wayne, sorry?
I'd say 60.
Okay, oh, so he was younger.
He had developmental challenges, as well as dementia, as well as being diabetic, as well as being a handful. He wanted to die, so again, that one night I just felt that surging, but he didn't die.
How would you know he wanted to die?
He would say it sometimes, that he just wanted to go.
Mm-hmm. Where was Wayne in the Crescent Care?
He was in room 8, which is the men's ward down at the end.
So 8 or A?
8.
The number?
8 north. 8 north.
Alright, and would that be roommates in there as well?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who he was roomed with?
No.
Alright, and Mike with Huntington's disease?
That was 2009.
What is that disease?
It robs you of your body and you still have your mind. You get progressively more agitated incapacitated, you get progressively more, psychotic, and you're in a wheelchair, and you've got all these movements that you can't control. It's a horrible disease.
And how old was Mike?
He was 54, and, again, one night I just felt that surging, and I thought, now this must be God, because this man is not enjoying his life at all. So, I gave him a large amount of insulin. I think I gave him 90 total.
Did he ever do anything to harm you?
No, never.
Did Wayne?
No.
Albina?
No.
Matilda?
No.
This takes us to a different location, Telford Place in Paris. That's obviously Paris, Ontario, correct?
Yeah.
Outside of Brantford, Woodstock area?
2016 winter.
Okay, and that was Sandra?
Yeah, and
How old was Sandra?
Sandra, I think she was in her 70s.
Okay. And Telford Place, what was the breakup of the rooms there? Where was she located?
She was down the wing, straight down from the nurse's desk, about 2 doors on the left.
Okay.
And she had 3 roommates.
Okay. And she described her a little bit of personality and her health?
Tall, not very well. She didn't walk anymore. She had a good sense of humor. She often said she didn't want to be there. And so one night I gave her an insulin overdose. But she survived because the nurse that came on next went to check on her to do something else and noticed that she was sweaty and took her blood sugar and saved her life.
Okay. And how did these other people survive?
It just didn't. Clotilda and Albina, they found them to have low blood sugar, and they gave them stuff to raise it. And Wayne and Mike, they just survived. It was never found out.
Was there anything to do with the gender, male or female, that this influenced the effect of it, or was it just, again, just depended on the makeup of their body and their health? And
yeah, not that I know of if it had anything to do with gender.
The nurse who saved Sandra.
Yeah.
Was there anything that ever came back on you?
No.
Any retribution, consequences?
No, she never figured it out that I know of. She even asked me about it and asked if I thought she'd done the right thing.
Who was that? Do you remember her name?
Diane, I don't remember her last name.
And what were you working at that point? What shifts were you working at Telford Place?
Whatever I got called in for.
Okay.
I was actually working for a nursing agency at that time called Lifeguard Agency, and I was sent to Telford as a lifeguard.
I see. So you were never employed by Telford Place?
No, I was employed by Lifeguard, and I would go to Telford and to other places as well.
Okay. And that's when you got involved with St. Elizabeth as well, right? When you were with Lifeguard?
Yeah. I was only with St. Elizabeth like a month and a half before I quit.
Okay. 2016 of August, which is not too long ago, you're employed with St. Elizabeth, it says here.
Yeah, I was frustrated with my job. I had a huge workload, having to learn a lot of new things, just a lot of frustration. The weekend that this happened, I had all of the people that I had to look after. Most of them were in Ingersoll. I didn't know any of them. And on the Saturday I went in and I was doing my care. And this is really the only one that was pre-planned, because on the Saturday I went in and I was doing care on Beverly. I noticed that she had a PICC line, which is a line that takes medication straight to your heart, and that she was a diabetic. And so the next day when I went in, I was really frustrated, and I could just really feel the surging and the laughing, and I gave her a huge amount. I gave her, I think it was 180, three doses of 60 through the PICC line.
Did she question that at all?
No, because I used one to rinse the PICC line, one to put into her antibiotics, and one to rinse the PICC line again. And she survived. She was fine the next day.
Did you go see her the next day?
No, but I was able to check it on my computer because she was seen every day by a nurse.
Okay.
So I could go into the tablets from work and see how she was.
Okay, and that was just a computer program used by St. Elizabeth?
Yes,
I see, okay.
on their own tablet.
Okay, and these other people, where did you inject them?
Their arms,
All of them?
all of them, yeah. Sandy was probably her leg, but she was a little bit more difficult.
In August of 2016 then with Beverly, you don't remember Beverly's last name?
No, I don't. And I don't even remember if her first name was Beverly.
Oh, okay.
I could probably, I don't know if I could tell you the weekend it was or not.
But she lived in Ingersoll?
Yes.
Did she live in a home, or?
Yeah, in a home, like
her own residence, I mean, or? Do you remember where in Ingersoll it was?
No, I don't.
No. Okay. How come you have the name Beverly, but you're not sure what her name is?
Because I'm not sure if it was Bev or B or...
I gotcha. Okay. Okay. And that was the only one that you had given through the pipeline?
Yes.
Did you know what the result would be compared to a direct injection into an arm or a leg or a thigh?
I'd never done it before. I'd never looked at it. I had no idea.
Okay.
She went to sleep fairly quickly, and I left. But when I checked the next day to see how she was through the next nurse, there was no change.
How old was she?
She was 63, 64.
And what was her diagnosis as far as her health?
She was diabetic and she had large ulcers on her leg. And she also had a severe infection.
How does that make you feel going through all that?
Awful.
Do you feel like there's a burden lifted off your shoulders?
Yes, I've done the right thing.
Do you feel there's a sense of relief?
Yes, and now I know that it wasn't God, and I'm ashamed of myself that happened, but I also think that it was mental health. You know, I think it was, I wasn't in my right mind, or I would have been able to tell. I mean, I was raised to believe in God. I was raised from a baby to go to Sunday school, so how could I get such a strong feeling that this is what God wanted, unless it was something wrong with my head?
And I know we've talked about what you would say to the families and so on and so forth, but again, I feel terrible for the people that are going to find out in the days and weeks to come about what actually happened to their loved ones, right?
I do. I feel horrible. If there was ever anything I could do so that nobody did this again, I'd do it.
Just a few other things to cover off then. The things that some of these people would do to you, the hitting, the pinching, the grabbing of your breasts, would you ever report that?
Yeah, it was always reported and charged on.
And that's documented on their charts?
Yes.
Okay. And was there there's obviously not obviously, but was there ever any charges or criminal matters that came of any of this at all?
No. That's part of working in the nursing home. That's just what they do. Might even be your fault, dear.
Yeah, who said that?
Mrs. Conbeck.
Yeah. Do you think that might have played a role in your actions?
No.
Maureen, your ex. What was Maureen's last name? When was the last time you talked to her?
I think about, 4 years ago when she wanted money to move back.
Oh.
We were only together for a year.
Okay. So she came here from...
Yeah, and brought her 2 kids.
Okay. The teenage kids?
Yeah.
I think you mentioned that here in Toronto statement.
Yeah, we got involved with CAS with them.
Mm-hmm. When they were here?
Mm-hmm.
Have you document that you prepared, Beth, and I know that you had stated the reason why, I guess we call it the breaking point of why you stopped,
Yeah,
was the possibility that you were gonna have to be dealing with kids,
yes, that's right,
right?
yeah.
Is there anyone else within your career path that isn't listed on these 4 documents, or these 4 pieces of paper, that you'd be responsible for their deaths?
No, absolutely not.
And if we were to tell you that we've come across some fairly significant or suspicious deaths at other nursing homes,
Where it's in,
right, what would you say to that?
I'd say it wasn't me,
So there's no one else involved
no,
that fell victim to your actions?
no.
Just repeat to me again the people that you've disclosed this to besides myself tonight.
Okay, the very first person I ever disclosed it to was, another girlfriend at the time. Her name was, that was after I killed a couple of people, and, she told me not to do it again or she was gonna turn me into the police.
When was that, sorry?
I couldn't tell you, 2008, I think. And then, 2011, when I decided to stop killing, my friend, I told her what I'd been doing and that I had stopped. And then, I told my pastor. And then after that, I told in 2014, after Art passed away, I went on a holiday, and that's when I really decided that this had to stop. And so I told a friend, and he lives in BC. Then I told, when I came back, I got advice from a lawyer. And then while I was in Toronto, while I was in CAMH, well, I told my friend, before everyone, I told my cousin, I told my friend, and I told my friend, and then while I was in CAMH, I told someone who I thought was a friend. They turned around and called the police to make sure that it had really been dealt with. And I understand that he thought he was doing the right thing. I understand that, but he had said, oh, I won't tell anybody, and I was using him as a resource for support, and he turned around and
Right.
when I'd already, I'd already shared it, so why would he call the police?
So why do you think that none of these people confronted police?
Maybe they didn't believe me. I don't know. Maybe they thought I was doing more something that the patient wanted done.
And as far as believing you, are these close people to you that you've shared other deep, dark secrets with maybe over time?
I would say these are secrets with lots of stuff, yeah.
Because this is a pretty serious thing.
Yes, it is.
Right.
It's horrible.
And telling
It's the worst thing.
these people, I just find it hard to believe that no one would come forward until, which is 5, 6 people down the road, right?
Yeah.
Of having knowledge of it.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
And everything that you're telling us is the truth.
Yes, it is. Yes,
There's
sir.
nothing that's been fabricated,
No, sir. No.
and you're sure about that.
I know so.
What would we find in your home? Did you ever document any of this activity at all?
Once in a while I journaled on it. There might be some in my home, but I don't know.
Where would
I
those
think I
be?
threw it out. If it's around, it would be in like a spiral binder in either my desk, my other desk, or my whatchamacallit. Come on. You put files, folders in
Like
there.
a filing cabinet?
Yes, filing cabinet, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And that's, did you live alone?
Yes, I did.
And stuff? Okay.
Yes. Did you want someone to come with me and look?
Well, to be honest with you, as part of the investigation, there's already been a search warrant executed at your house.
Oh, so the search is already, there's already been a
I don't
searching
know what
done?
stage it's at, because we've been conversing for quite some time.
Okay.
It's probably close to being completed,
Okay,
but I'm just asking, because you've been so cooperative,
yeah,
and again, I do appreciate that,
yeah,
I really do. It just makes things a lot easier, right? Advising us where certain things might be, and you said you might have thrown them out,
yeah.
you might not have.
I might not have kept them. And then at the very end of my coffee table, there's a box, and it's got pictures and a photo album in it. There might be something in there too.
What would be in
A Charlie Q, writing pad.
Okay. What types of things would you document?
Just what I had done, how bad I felt, when it happened, just trying to figure out what was going on in my head. Yeah.
Searching for answers.
Yeah.
But you're not sure if you have rid of those or not yet?
I thought I got rid of them all, but I don't know if I did for sure.
Okay. Would there be anything else as far as computer documents or anything like that?
There would be, I accessed a computer support group for borderline personality disorder. It would be on that website.
Oh, it's just an open forum that you could join and,
Yeah.
and post comments and,
Yeah.
what website was that?
I couldn't tell you, but I could find it on my computer.
Okay. And would that be something that you'd be willing to share with us?
Of course.
And give us consent to
Yeah.
look at those documents and computer websites and whatnot?
Yeah.
What's your tattoo mean?
Hopes and dreams.
What does that mean to you?
That I have hopes for the future and dreams of the future.
Yeah. What are your hopes of the future now, after speaking to me over the last few hours?
That somehow, some way I can help somebody. There's gotta be somebody wherever I go, jail, penitentiary, there's gotta be somebody I can help. Maybe somebody who can't read, maybe somebody who can't write, maybe somebody who's done worse than me and feels like it'll never be forgiven. Maybe somebody who's done less than me and feels like it'll never be forgiven. There's gotta be something that can come from this. Maybe somebody can study me and come up with answers and new medications so this doesn't happen again. That's my hopes and dreams now.
Is there anything worse than taking someone else's life?
Yes. Child molestation. Absolutely.
Did you feel that you might harm the children and then yourself if you were to work with them?
I was afraid that I might get that feeling of wanting to give them insulin or doses, especially since they were diabetic. And I panicked. There was no way. I was absolutely not open to that.
Is there anything else that you can think of right now?
No,
No?
I think I did pretty good.
I think you did.
So what happens now?
I'm just gonna get you to sit tight, and we'll arrange to, see what the next steps are.
Oh, okay, I might not be going home then.
I will get back to you with that.
Okay.
We discussed your, original document that's in your backpack.
Yeah.
If I were to prepare a form, which is a consent to search or a consent form, to provide us with those documents, would that be something that you'd be willing to sign?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
There's some stuff in there too that I did with the nurse.
In your backpack?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of things are those?
Like, it's called a chain link thing, so you start at what you did and you go backwards to how you're feeling, what you could have done different and all that.
Okay. Do you feel that your time at KMH helped you?
Yes, very much so.
You received the care that you thought you needed?
Yeah, and an increase in medication, which I feel I needed. Yeah.
All right. Sit tight for a few moments.
Okay.
And I'll be back to you shortly, okay? Again, on my phone, I got 7:39
Okay.
p.m. And let me get back to you with some answers and
Okay.
where we're going from here, okay?
I'd like to go home.
Okay. We'll sit tight and we'll see what's
Even
going
if
to
I
happen.
have to wear an ankle bracelet, I'd like to go home.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can someone cut these off with me now?
Yeah, we'll get something to get those off for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, I'll be right back.
Thanks.
sorry, Beth.
That's okay.
You could imagine that, things of this nature take some time.
Yeah,
And
I understand.
I appreciate your patience with me.
I understand.
Thank you. So, I have 8:02. We're in the home stretch here.
Okay.
Okay, and I can explain to you everything that's gonna go on, okay?
Okay.
Fair enough?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So, first off, a few things that, you remember the gentleman who transported us back from Toronto and, also Karen, or
Yeah.
my partners, that they've just been monitoring and
Right,
taking some
right.
notes and things like that, and just some things that are concerning and that we just need to firm up, okay?
Okay.
So first off, as I said, there has been a search warrant executed at your residence,
Okay.
and there was some paperwork with regards to a Remington gun, shotgun of some sort.
Oh,
What would that be for?
just to look at it, 'cause I like guns.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, do you have any at home?
No, I used to.
Did you? What did you have?
I had a 22.
Yeah. Was that a Remington by chance?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
But, my husband had a gun that his dad gave me
Okay.
that we would shoot with, so I could stay at the gun club and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And when we, broke up, I did the paperwork to give it back to him. That might be
Okay.
what they found?
Okay. All right.
I don't have a gun.
There's no firearms in your house right now?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, never will be.
Okay. All right. The username, like what would your username be on that blog that you would write on the support group?
You know what, I'd have to go and look,
Yeah?
honestly.
It's not like your name and a couple numbers or
No.
nickname, anything like that?
No, I'd have to be sitting down in front of the computer to remember it,
Okay.
and even to find the support group.
Okay. These are a bunch of random questions, just all thrown together here. The insulin they used, the short acting, the long acting, was there an actual brand or a make of the insulin that you would use?
Might have been Novulin,
Okay.
might have been Lenovo. Can't remember the other one.
Okay. When you worked with Lifeguard,
Yeah,
I know that you had mentioned they'd send you to certain locations, certain homes.
yeah.
What were those? There was Telfer Place and then there was two others. Was one of them in Fort Dover?
There's more than, there was Telfer Place,
Yeah.
that was the very first. Then there was, here, I'll spend the one here. Telfer Place, Fort Dover, Dovercliff, is what it was called. I did, one PSW shift at a place in New Hamburg, but I couldn't tell you the name of it. Also, I worked at, Telfer Place and Dovercliff are both owned by the same people, and they have another nursing home in Brantford, but I can't remember the name of it.
That's okay, we
And
can
then-
locate it.
And then Park Lane Terrace in Paris, and Hardy Terrace, I think just outside of Paris. Oh, and, what was the other one called? Oh Lord. It's way far out of town, it's like an hour and a half drive from here. My dad grew up in that area. Like it's in the Jarvis area, Jarvis Simcoe area, it's called, I couldn't tell you, I'm sorry, my brain's shot for the night.
That's okay. That's about it? Anything?
Yeah. Is my house gonna be a mess when I get back?
No.
Oh,
I wouldn't
okay.
think so. No.
Okay.
Not that kind of a, it's not like you see on TV and
Yeah.
they're going flying everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Your Facebook page, at one point there was a comment, or I don't know where it is in your timeline, about a pediatric nurse. Did you ever work as a pediatric nurse?
Oh, that I was gonna be working with the kids.
That's what that referred to with Ingersoll?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And just just go back through the names of people here. So we've got, that you've divulged us to, right?
Yeah,
That's your cousin?
that's my cousin.
Okay.
I'm not giving her last name.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't?
The lawyer, whose name I cannot remember.
That's okay. Is it a female?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's that?
She was a friend from the nursing home.
What one?
From Crescent Care. I told her after I had stopped the first time.
Okay.
And she stopped being my friend because of it.
Okay.
And
Where does she work?
she doesn't. She's on ODST.
Did she work at a nursing home with you?
No, never.
Just a friend.
Yeah.
Do you know where she lives in town?
She lives in Toronto.
Okay, we're gonna wrap things up, but here's what's gonna happen,
Okay.
okay? And part of this is gonna be up to you. What are your plans going forward from here? If you
Going
were to-
forward from here, I want to go home.
Okay,
I want to have a good night's sleep.
okay,
I want to spend Thanksgiving weekend with my family.
okay,
And I want to be available to the police at any time they need me.
okay,
And if I have to come back for trial, I have to come back for trial.
okay.
I have no plans of leaving. I can surrender my car if you want me to.
Are your parents, are you close with your parents? Like, what type of
Very
relationship
close.
do you have with them?
Very, very close. I have to tell them tonight what's happened.
With mom and dad?
Yes, they know that I've been in the hospital, but I just told them it was for treatment. But yeah, my plan tonight is to go and talk to them one-on-one, like face-to-face, and tell them.
What do you think their reaction's gonna be?
They're gonna be devastated.
What do you think?
I'm gonna plan on staying the night there, so they have access to me.
Okay. What type of support do you think you're gonna get from them?
Eventually, all the support I need. I also plan to go to my AA groups. I had planned on doing 90 meetings in 90 days. And just keep up with, like I plan to, see, one of the things that happens with me is I isolate and then I start to not do well. So I plan to, do the Thanksgiving thing, keep up with my friends, clean my apartment, tell my parents. Those are my plans. I have no plans to leave town. I've done this and I'm ready to face it, but I would love to go home for a night.
I think that's gonna happen.
Bless you.
Okay, I think that's gonna happen. As I said at the very, very beginning of this, whatever time we started ago, hours ago, you're not under arrest right now.
Okay.
Okay, but as you can imagine, okay,
Call you back in 30 minutes. That was my cousin.
gotcha. Okay. As I said at the beginning of this, you're not under arrest.
Okay.
But as you can imagine, an
I will be.
investigation like this
Yeah.
is something that we've never dealt with. It's something that doesn't happen very often. It's
Okay.
something that you rarely hear about,
Right,
okay? I don't know of many, but you're not the first person to do this,
right.
okay? Having said that, we have a responsibility to protect the public,
Right.
right? You know where I'm coming from when I say that?
Yes,
As a police.
absolutely, absolutely.
You've done some things to some innocent people,
Absolutely.
some pretty, what people are
Horrible
gonna,
things.
people are gonna have opinions of you, and people are
Monster.
gonna, right, exactly. Having said that, there's something in the Criminal Code of Canada, and this is usually results in someone being charged with a criminal offense and being placed on such a thing called an 810 peace bond.
Okay.
Okay, and basically what an 810 peace bond is kind of a promise given by your word given to us, and it's a court document that's issued by a judge that puts you on certain conditions, certain conditions limiting you from doing certain things, having certain things in your possession, attending certain locations, and if you were to breach those conditions,
right,
then you would be arrested and further charged with breaching this, what's called an 810 peace bond.
Okay.
So basically, you've heard of a restraining order?
Yes.
It's similar to that.
Okay.
Okay? A lot of people call them restraining orders, but it's actually in Canada called an 810 peace bond.
Okay.
And again, it just limits you from doing certain things, attending certain locations. It could be things like still getting help for your mental health, your substance abuse,
yes,
surrendering your passport.
I have no passport.
Not practicing as an RN.
Yeah.
Not attending nursing homes, things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
If that were an option, which, like I said, usually that occurs with people that are charged, people are convicted of certain offenses.
Right.
That's part of their punishment sometimes.
Okay.
Would you be willing to enter into an 810 peace bond prior to being criminally charged?
Absolutely.
Okay. And do you understand what I mean by the 810 peace bond?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It means I have to do it, or I come back and I'm in jail until everything else happens.
Okay. I don't know what would happen if you were to breach it as far as jail and the consequences.
Yeah.
The only thing that I want to make sure that it's clear to you, and that make sure that I'm getting my point across, is that it's basically a document that you're going to swear, sign, and agree not to do certain things, not to have certain things in your possession. And
right.
I'm not saying that's going to happen right now.
Okay.
Because it has to go in front of a judge.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's just an option that we're looking at, because, as I said, we have the responsibility to protect the public.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
that's why I want to know what your plans are.
Yes.
I want to know that you're going to go home and be supported by your family.
Yes.
I want to know that you're
Cell
going to
phone will be charged at all times, always on my body if you need me. I will be here, if you need me to come here, I'll be here. If you need me to wait for you to come and get me, I'll do it. I'm totally committed.
All right. I think we have do we have your cell phone number?
519
Yeah.
532 6471.
Okay.
Home phone number is 519 290 0724.
Okay.
Parent phone number.
Don't worry about that. I'll get that one. I'll get your parents when we go.
Okay.
Okay. You understand what we just talked about?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Because it's a very unique situation, right?
Yes.
Where
so thankful.
you confess to certain things.
Yes.
And we have quite a bit of legwork, as you can imagine,
Yes.
to piece this investigation together and see where we go from here.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that will consult in it and determine the final answer of what your fate is.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
But I know that you're aware of the extent of what you've done.
Yes.
I know that you've verbalized and spoke about how you feel, and that obviously you can't take it back, but... You know.
I'm relieved that I've confessed it. I feel sorry for the people that are now going to find out. Sorry doesn't say it.
Yeah.
They should do that as a word bigger than sorry.
Yeah.
Like Diana sorry or something.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah. I really have to pee. I'm sorry.
No problem. I've got 8:16, and I think that'll probably conclude things, but I'm going to use the washroom and go from there. Oh, I just have to get you to sign that consent, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.